Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Dean Callan Show. I have a great show for you today. I'm really excited about it. I'm probably not as prepped as I should be. It's because I missed last week's episode. I just didn't have something really cool for everyone. So I thought, you know what? Just wait until I've got something really cool going on. And I've been trying to bring people in from around the world, and getting schedules right is a bit difficult. But fortunately for me, an old friend um, who has just been disconnected, he's going to reconnect, happened to be available for me. So I'm really excited about getting Aldrin on. He's super cool. And last time I was in Manila, which was, I'm not going to lie, quite a while ago, he was the guy to see. Now, what I mean by that is, obviously, I used to be a global brand ambassador. My job was to travel around the world, meet bartenders, hopefully inspire them to pour and drink more monkey shoulder, and 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 run bartending competitions and events and trainings and things like that. And you're obviously being hosted when you go out, right? Now, I don't know everyone in the world. It's impossible for me to do that. But basically, um, when you are being hosted, your sales guy, the brand ambassador in the local market, whoever it is, they're always going to be like, right, let's go check out these accounts, let's go check out these places. And in some cases, it's made abundantly clear, this guy's awesome. You know, the next person you go and see, you're kind of hyped up on it. And the guys that bringing me around were like Aldrin, or I think it was Poch. I'm going to have to ask him how to pronounce that, because I threw it in the titles rather than his actual title on Facebook, because that's what Diageo World Class were using. So I figured if World Class is doing it, it must be right. But basically, I only got a short time with him, but he seemed so genuine, so cool, so humble, and his drinks tasted amazing. So he very much lived up to the hype. And I think I've got him back in the green room, so I'm going to cut across and add him in. Aldrin, how you doing, brother?
How you doing, Dean? How you doing,
Yeah,
Dig?
oh,
Long time.
thank God.
Hope you're doing fine, man.
The audio is still working, because obviously I was like, man, we tested the audio before, but you never know. You never know what's going to happen. I'm
Yeah,
really glad it's just worked straight away. How have you been? How's life?
doing good. I've moved on from the last time that we met. I've opened two
Oh yeah, no.
separate bars. So, it's been a while. I think it's like 6 years from the time that we met. Actually, that's
Yep,
the first competition that you've hosted for your former brand. So, yeah, it's been six
yep,
years.
for
So, I
Monkey.
have a 5-year-old kid. I got
I
married
know. Yeah,
after,
you got a little girl. I was going to ask you about that. You
yeah.
didn't have a little girl last time I seen you.
No, actually, we were expecting during the time that we met, during the time that I
Oh
competed, and
right.
it was October
Wow.
it was October if I remember it correctly. So after that week of competition, the next week was our wedding. So
Right,
it was a
that's
good
it. There
break.
was a
It
wedding
was a good break.
coming.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
wedding
that's
coming.
super
Yeah, so
cool. Because you were super busy. You're basically running the whole site by yourself at the time we come in, right?
yep, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much, yeah.
Um,
I think during those times I just started training my new staff, my new team. So it's a good memory. Busy but really worthwhile.
yeah, did you enjoy that comp?
Yeah, I
You
mean
had fun?
it's I mean I wouldn't have this tattoo if if
You are the
if
most
I didn't
committed
enjoy it.
man. That is
Yeah,
insane.
yeah,
So,
I
do you have
didn't.
a world class tattoo now?
This one.
Oh, amazing. That is epic. So this is your like badass competition arm, right?
Yeah, pretty much. That is like my accomplishment wall or arm, and then the other side would be if the camera would see it, would be all of the other bars, the logos of the bars that I've worked with. So pretty much, you could say it's my walking CV. If to
Wow,
be
that is so cool. Do you know what's really
yeah,
funny? Obviously, I've got my little boy. He turns 2 tomorrow, which is why it works better to
do,
do this today, so that I can focus on
yeah,
his birthday tomorrow. But Axel, he loves watching all the Disney films, right? So I've got
yep,
Disney Plus, which has I mean, it's paying for itself. It's like he just wants to watch the baby, and he wants to watch the bear, and he wants to watch all these programs. But one of them, we watched Moana. Do you know Moana? The it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
about it's set in Hawaii, I think.
Yes.
But
Yes.
in Moana, the big demigod has
Yeah.
tattoos all over his body that tell about his life, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
like that's actually quite cool that you're doing the same thing, like
Yeah.
you're a massive kind of demigod of a bartender and you've got these tattoos all over your body telling your life story. That's really cool. That's an epic use of tattoos. Actually, it's not just like
Yeah.
piece of art. It's actually a piece of your history. You'll never
Yep.
forget
You
it.
can say that.
Very
Yes.
cool.
Essentially,
Um,
that's my reason for that.
so I know I said this to you, right? I am going to try, after the last show was 2 hours long, I'm going to try to set a timer for myself, right? I'm not going to focus on any of the gadgets or any of the crap that's going on behind. I'm just going to set a timer for myself, right? And we're going to do
Yep.
15 minutes. Does that sound good to you? Because
Yeah, man. Bring it
I
on.
know
Let's
you're
go.
busy right now. All right, I'm going to do 14 minutes and 30 seconds. We'll pretend that the intro is being 30 seconds, so I'm not going to waste any more of your time. All right, so here we go. Right, we got our 14 minutes and 30 seconds started so that I don't drag on and take all your time. Now, obviously, you're a skilled bartender and you can multitask, right? So
Yep. Yep.
I wanted to ask you, what's one of your favorite classics to make? And I know you said, Dean, you're going to need a Verna, and unfortunately, I don't have a Verna. Everyone keeps asking for ingredients I don't have, and it's so funny because I have so many bottles here. Uh, you would think I'd
That's
have
a hell of a
everything,
back bar, man. That's a hell of a
but
back bar. I
underneath
gotta
here
say.
is so badly organized. I know I've got a Verna somewhere in this bar, but I shuffle things around because there's only so much space here. Um, and because I'm not taking any kind of stock takes, I just buy whatever, I'm not selling anything. Um, but Sans Averna, what should we make? I like Manhattans and things like that, and I like my whiskey
Yeah.
and I like simple drinks, particularly ones that I might have the ingredients for. What would you suggest I have?
I mean, like, a shot of like I'm into boiler makers as well. So if you
Okay,
could
yeah,
do that for me, that would be awesome, man.
I'll be in on that. Okay, let's have a look. So now, um, you're gonna have to choose now, right? Now I'm
Yep.
gonna put you on the spot here. I'm gonna go give you the options of vintage Johnny Walker Green Label, right, or Monkey Shoulder. So
Oh,
these are
that's a
these are
tough
these are.
one, man.
Are we doing both? Okay, you can decide not to decide, and I'll do half of each.
No, let's do half of each, man. Let's do half of
Okay,
each.
you're a very good politician. Um, very good. Right. So, quick question for you, right? I was going to
Yeah.
ask you, like, we just talked about how you have a little girl and you've got a family, and you've been able to manage running bars, opening new bars. You've got a really good new position. That's with a
Yeah.
hotel, is that right?
Oh, I already left the hotel, so I'm kind of back
Ah,
to my roots. This is standalone bar,
oh,
so
nice. Very cool. And that's the new place that you're opening.
that is the new place that I'm opening right
Okay,
now.
I thought it was a new bar within the hotel chain, but obviously
Oh
you're
yeah,
out now.
yeah. I was out since last year. Unfortunately,
Okay,
it got to the worst of us, so
the
had to
the
make a
COVID
move
thing,
for my
yeah, the
family.
C word.
Pardon?
All right, so we got these two. I'm gonna grab a beer, right? But I was
Yeah.
gonna ask you, how have you found managing having like your a small child and working in
Yep.
hospitality? Because I'm desperate to get back and open a bar, right? But one of my
Ah,
fears is, my wife's a lawyer. She works really hard and work really long hours. Am I going to be able to manage it? Does it get a bit easier as your little girl's gotten older?
Uh, in a way, but it always presents a challenge. So I'm very thankful that my wife is really supportive. Even when we were starting, she works at a day shift because she works at the bank, and I do the opposite way. So it's kind of challenging meeting halfway, but we did manage, thankfully, and it's all because of a supportive partner, my supportive wife, you know,
Yeah,
uh,
you're
helping me out.
honestly, you should be a politician. That was amazing.
No,
You're so,
I really couldn't do it, imagine it, without her being that supportive. I mean, sometimes I go over like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. in the morning and she's already
ooh,
out. So, it really is, with the help of my wife and my mom, my dad, and also my in-laws who was really helping us to take care of our child. So it was really a team effort, I would say.
yeah, that's very cool. That's cheers to that, man. Cheers to modern families and
Cheers.
yeah, Sancha. Right, so next up on our, we've only got, I'm gonna check on this timer, 9 minutes and 55 seconds.
Sure, sure.
Right, so you've just come through the process of being a finalist in Diageo World Class. So congratulations on how far you
Thank
got.
you.
That's
Thank you.
amazing. Um,
Thank you, man. Thank you.
and I watched one of your. I was going to try to put it up on the screen, but you know what? I'll try to put in the comments a link to the YouTube channel where the Diageo
Yeah,
stuff is on, so people can see all of them, and also
yeah,
so we don't get closed down for copyright. Um, but
yeah,
I loved your video where you were talking about how your city is poised to
yeah.
to have to be able to hold on to its culture and hold on to its history, but also looking forward into the future. And um, could you expand on that for people? How is working in the bar industry in Manila today?
Uh, we're, we're still I would say a growing industry. Still have the birthing pains, the growing pains of establishing ourselves. But it's a day-to-day challenge for us. We always look on the outside for influence, but we try to uh, incorporate it into our concept. So with that, I would say we're still in the growing mode. I would say, but things are looking very bright for the future of bartenders here in the Philippines, inside and outside of the country as well. Because it's a given that we have this wonderful hospitality attitude. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of refining it and using it for specifically for the bartending, for all of the service staff, because we have it already. It's just a matter of fine tuning it. So we're into that state that we see a very good potential of establishing ourselves in the very near future.
Yeah, I found when I went to the Philippines that the bartenders there, the hospitality there was brilliant. It was really, really
Thank you, thank you.
nice. And you've got a long history as well. Like if I could be misremembering this, but I've just thought to myself, like Don the Beachcomber obviously made tropical cocktails famous, but his number one guy was a Filipino bartender, was he not? Am I
Yeah,
wrong on that?
uh, I think, yeah, you're right. Filipinos are well into that history of
Yeah,
taking.
there's a long history of
Yes,
famous
yes.
Filipino bartenders.
Yes,
And
Ray Buhen, just to name a few, like the Four
yeah,
Shaker Boys. So we do have that, and it's something that is really, I would say, amazing for us to learn about it, because there's already a leg for us with the cocktail world. It's just a matter of continuing it and making it alive again, so to speak. Because from that golden age of the tiki era, like there's already a route that we could connect to and look upon as an inspiration. So it's
mm,
cool. It's cool knowing that history.
I think it's important. Like it's very easy because of all the books and all the chat around bartending in the Western world, and how how bartending's kind of shared, I guess, when it comes to
Yes.
things like Tales of the Cocktail, the 50 Best Bar Awards, all those sorts of things, the visible recognition in the industry. There's a lot of people that can look back to old school cocktail books and stuff like that and see
Yep.
people like them represented. You know, Jerry Thomas was
Yep.
like an old white guy with a kind of mustache, and it's quite obvious to see that. But I think it's important for you guys as well to be able to have those old kind of bartenders you can look back on and be like, we've been doing this for a long time as well.
Yep.
Um,
Yes.
do you
Yes.
do you think with the rise of things like social media, and obviously, I wanted to comment. I love you've got your own camera rig now as a result of the world class thing. Um,
Thank you,
uh,
thank you for the world class,
one of
man.
the videos, was it one of the videos or one of the social media posts I seen throughout the process? Someone commented saying that you didn't hire any professional video people. You didn't hire a production crew or anything like that. You shot everything yourself. You did everything yourself for your videos. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, we did with the help of my brand ambassador, like who's also a former bartender whom I competed earlier, and with the former champions, I was like, one of the champions. Shout out to David. Uh, he knew photography and video editing, so it was kind of working to my advantage. It might not be that as professional as uh the others did, but like I love the element of like doing it on our own and doing it
Yeah.
organically. So it's a good experience for me as well, because I learned a lot from the champions, Lester, David, and also to my brand ambassador Ryan. So it's a good experience actually doing it organically.
Yeah, I think it's amazing that through the competition you learn how to create good quality videos, and
Yep.
that became part of the process. It might have been because of COVID and having to do everything virtually, but I mean that's a skill set. That is that something that you think will benefit you going forward? Do you think you're going to continue to practice in that area?
Yeah, yeah. I would love to continue this simply because looking back I before I was accepted and work at the bar industry. I used those kind of I would say hindrance. Like right now we have COVID, so we couldn't do that face to
Mm,
face. That's why we have to do it virtually. So it's kind of like a repeating experience for me. Before, I didn't have this job. I have to divert and work as a call center agent. So instead of thinking about the negative in it, why not look at it as a positive way of improving my upselling skills just by talking and just by listening. So
yeah,
I
very
kind of look at
cool.
it that way. So it was good. It was a good experience. So I'll still continue that, and I would love to. I mean, improve and make my own video content like the rest of the guys are doing, like what you are doing. So
Yeah,
I want to do that
I'm
in the
hooked on
future,
it.
man.
I've spent every penny I had left before I started losing all my work. I spent on equipment, and I'm doing it the reverse way. I should have started getting good at making content and then bought equipment. But I love gadgets too much, so I bought
Yeah.
all the equipment. If you ever want to just catch up and FaceTime and chat about gadgets and how to get a live stream thing, doing this and doing that, then I'll chat all day. I love it. I've gotten hooked on all the camera gear.
I'll
Um,
never shy away from asking questions for you. You know that. So
yeah, well,
you
I'm always
definitely could
here.
count on me asking, man. So it's
And
good.
I'll do the same of you. That's what I was going to get at. I was going to say that you should be inspired now. You look very good on camera. I love when you put your videos out, the message you were putting across. You were sharing the Philippines with people, not just what you were doing. You were sharing where you're from and who you're working with, which I thought was super cool. So I'd really hope, and I think you should continue doing that. And if you find bartenders that you can take inspiration from throughout history, share those with people, because there's always going to be some 18-year-old bartender that's just started, and you found something out over time. You share it with them and you start growing your own bar culture. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, yeah. It's
um,
something that I started together with the rest of my bar friends in the Philippines. So that pay it forward kind of movement. I started without a bar mentor immediately, and then when I found my bar mentor, that's the first thing that he taught me: pay it forward, don't pay it back to him.
mm,
So it's kind of like continuing that cycle right now. I have my own team ever since, so it's kind of like I don't want them to feel that they don't have a bar mentor. So it's a good thing. It's a good cycle, as you mentioned, creating that bar
yeah,
culture. So hopefully we'll get to that and we'll fulfill that. Yeah.
yeah, it's the best. So who out of your, say someone's watching this right now, right?
Yeah.
And they see you. They then find your what is your what I, you had a really cool social media handle. What was it again?
Baron of Booze.
The
Baron of
Baron of
Booze.
Booze. I
Yeah.
love that. Do you know why I love that so much? Um,
Thank you.
like the first ever company I created for like doing my own mixology like training and whatever. I called it mixologistics, like mixology and logistics put
And
together,
logistics.
right?
Nice.
Mixologistics. And I made like satchel bags that had all your equipment and stuff in them, and you'd put it up on the bar top, and it was a messenger bag. You zipped it down, and the front fell down, and it stood upright with all your equipment. So if you did a bartending competition, you could walk in, put it on the back bar, zip it down, and then you know where all your tools are, and you can grab them. Um,
Nice. Cool, man.
and then you could zip it up and walk away. And it just didn't work out. Ooh, there's the timer. We've gone over time already. It just didn't work out. But the Baron of Booze thing, I used to call myself the Duke of Drink. I was Duke of Drink. I was Duke of Drink at mixologistics.com. And it was just like, I'd tell
Nice.
people that. And as I thought it was so cool when I first did it. And then as I started saying it to people, I got this like, Duke of Drink, like drink royalty, and then like mixologist, mix what? Mixo logistics. What do you mean by that? And I was like, mixology logistics. Like we're carrying mixology from one place to the next. And I was like, and the more I explained it, the more I thought, you know what? Nah. So now my website is deancallan.co.uk. It's just Dean at Dean Callan. It's like it's my name. It's much easier to explain. But I seen that, and I actually like put a big smile on my face. The Baron of Booze. I was like, that's so cool. It almost inspired me to want to go back to calling myself the Duke of Drink.
Yeah, you need to, man. You need to. Let's go.
Yeah, we should just be confident in ourselves. So as I was going to say, do you have anyone that you would suggest, right? So I'm watching you now. I learn about Baron of Booze. I start following you. Who's a couple of people, I'm genuinely interested in this, that I should start following in the Philippines if I want to learn more on a daily basis about what's happening in the Philippines? From a bar.
I would
I
say
sorry to put you on the spot there.
no worries, no worries. Let's start with my bar brothers. I have to say Lester Ligon. Uh,
Okay.
one of the, I mean, he's the most well-rounded bartender that I've ever faced and that I've known of. Uh, Michael Tubiera, and they also use their full names on their IG. So just type it in and
Okay.
you'll find it there. So Michael is, I would say, the best bartender when it comes to the molecular approach. He's one of the guys that I truly respect. David Avalayan,
All
Ryan
right.
Asidao. I would say my former guys, the curator Gian Divino, Sober Simon, as they call him in
Sober
sa social
Simon.
media. Yeah,
Cool.
Sober Simon is his handle. Simon Makirang. Uh, I would say
I'll tell you
those,
what.
and
I know
Kevin
you're going to
Gerald.
keep going. You're going to keep going forever because you know everyone, and you know that
Yeah,
anyone that you're not mentioning needs to be mentioned. So I'll tell you what I'll do.
yeah,
I might get a couple of links from you and put them into the comments afterwards. But thank you so much for sharing that because I'll
yeah. Sure,
follow
man.
up
Sure, man.
and try to get.
Yeah,
I'll start following them and then share with them.
yeah,
So one more question before we go because I know we're already over time. Um,
yeah,
what is the new bar that you're working on? Are you able to tell us anything when it
yeah, yeah.
opens? What sort of thing you're working with?
So, so basically, this is a multi-outlet project that started a year ago, around December. So, the first one is a rooftop, uh, high-volume bar. It's called Sky. So
That
basically,
sounds good.
we're at the penthouse. We're at the penthouse right now. So the other side of this outlet is like, with the restrictions that we're allowed, it's like a 60-seater for an open bar. So
Hmm.
basically, sort of like has that club vibe in it. So it's where the party starts or it's where the party ends. Right now, the second
Yeah.
outlet. So basically, we have three outlets. The outlet that I'm in right now would be basically the craft cocktail front of this bar.
Hmm.
So we're still working on the name and some of the finishing touches, but right now it's called MPH, as my partner christened it. So basically, it means Mr. Poch House for him up until I
Oh,
give it to him.
wow.
Just so. So it's MPH for now. And then the other side, which has a roof deck view, we're planning to do I would say, an experimental Filipino style of bar. So it's like your typical sari sari store in our culture. So an old school grocery, mini grocery, and then Filipino drinks, Filipino inspired drinks with a little bit of uh, carbonation and other forward techniques to incorporate with it. But basically, it's a very small, like I would say, 20-seater bar,
Hmm.
just so with Pinoy shots as well. So basically, once you enter our complex, you could choose from a party to a craft cocktail, and then end it with
Yeah,
shots before going home. So it's basically like a mini pub crawl, a mini bar crawl in our complex. That's what we're
that's
shooting at.
actually really cool. I think that's the future. Like one of my favorite things about Dead Rabbit in New York is that, the parlor downstairs, you're
Yep,
getting a pint of Guinness and the sawdust on the floor kind of feel. And it feels like you can just sit down, have a pint, and not have to think too much about the drink. The
yep,
conversation is the key. And then you go upstairs and they've got the cocktail bar, and it's a completely different feel altogether. The cocktail is the moment, and that's what
yep,
everyone's sharing. They're sharing this like, razor's edge mixology, right on the cutting edge of the world. So to have a rooftop bar as well as that, that sounds just like a dream. One
yep.
question though, when you said the Filipino-inspired cocktails, what would you say represents a Filipino-inspired drink? Like, what do you mean by Filipino style?
So we're taking into the context, the usual drinks that we Filipinos enjoy even before. So like a gin and pom drink, gin
A gin
pomelo.
and
So base pomelo, gin and pomelo. So it's like a
okay,
citrus. So
yeah, I know
so so those
pomelo.
kind of yeah. So those kind of style that we grew up drinking and watching our parents and our uncles drinking. So we try to elevate that as well with a Filipino style dessert. An alcoholic style of dessert is something that I'm working up right now, simply because my partners wanted to have that as well. So
Hmm.
those kind of drinks, a Philippine, all Filipino, but with a modern twist, with the
Yeah,
techniques
very
and
cool.
with
So the pomelo, the gin and pomelo. When you say pomelo, is it straight up pomelo juice?
yep, straight
Wow.
up pomelo.
Okay. So you're just taking pomelos and you're just like juicing giant big pomelos and then putting it.
Yeah, yeah,
Is it? What's the proportion
yes.
there? I'm actually really interested to find out if that's a really popular
That
drink in the Philippines.
Yes. So actually, the parent one is like you have different variations. So gin pomelo is like an easier one. The ratio would be depending on how strong the the drinkers would be. So if you're
Hmm.
strong and then you have those, I'll brag that I'm strong, we'll be having little less of the pomelo and more of the gin.
Yep.
So it's more of that thing, that root from like what we call gin sipol, so or
Yep.
gin whistle. So basically, you take a shot of gin, and then instead of drinking any chaser, you just whistle out until you could do your next shot. So those kind of drinks, those kind of drinks influence that gin pom and those other kind of drinks to evolve. So we want to give homage to that in the
Okay.
third
Very
album.
cool. And what would be the key local spirit? Is gin one of the most popular local spirits, or
We have a specific brand of gin that is, that sells a lot,
enormous?
and could go on toe to toe to most of the heavy influence gin. It's called
Yeah,
Ginebra San Miguel. So it's really known all throughout. It's a working man's gin, I would say. So that is, from I would say, from the fisherman to the carpenters to the everyday worker.
that's the drink.
It's something that they know all throughout. So that's the drink.
Very
That's
cool,
the one
man.
who started it all. Aside
I'm
from
gonna try to make that.
Philippines is
I'm gonna play with gin and pomelo and think of you. Like and
yeah, man.
so is it Poch?
Thank you, thank you.
Is it Poch?
Poch, yeah, yeah, you got it right. Poch, Poch,
Okay, all right.
you got it right.
Like I'm like getting all these different ideas of like Poch's pomelo punch, and like and doing a Poch Collins, you know? It's just a Tom Collins, but actually instead of lemon juice,
That's
right?
yep.
Wouldn't that be dope? That'd be so cool.
Pomelo.
Anyway,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm totally. If I get that
yeah,
nailed, I'll
man.
let you know. I'll put it on the show. I'll make a like how to make a Poch Collins.
Yeah, sure thing, man.
Look, man, I want to say thank you so much for being on the show. I've gone way over your time, but yeah, if there's
It's all good,
anything
man. It's all good.
if there's anything I can do to keep catching up with you, I'd love to keep catching up with you. It's been way too long. Give a big cuddle to your wife and your little girl and your whole family, and I'll see you as soon as possible. I'll get that Poch Collins recipe figured out. That's what I'm gonna do. Poch Collins.
Yeah, sure thing. I'll be
All
waiting
right,
for
man.
that, man.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
being on the
much, man.
show. You're an absolute
Pleasure
pleasure.
to be here in your show, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you soon, man. Ciao.
Thank you so much. See you soon. See you soon.
All right. What an absolute legend. Right. So, um, I'm trying to keep the show short and sweet. I did plan to put a Mitch's Minute on and have a few things so I could like bam, 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 bam. And I also want to follow up on things I said I'm going to do. Now, the last show I did, I was in here with Julian and Abby, who was honestly, that was one of the most fun, like in-house shows I've done. Obviously, it nearly went for 2 hours. We could have sat here and just chatted the whole day. But if you recall, if you have watched it, I dropped my very expensive Canon camera batteries into a pool of water. And the guys were kind of like, why have you got a leaf in a pool of water? Now, I'm going to explain that. And I'm also going to show you where I'm at now, 2 weeks later. So, the explanation is this. I have been making in the cabin a highball that I think is just one of the most delicious things I've put in my face. I've made multiple twists on it. I've taken Canadian whiskey, and you know what? A couple of different Canadian whiskeys work really well with it. My favorite is Bareface. Bareface works really well with this drink. It was the original kind of drink that I used. But I've got done well with Pike Creek as well. Yeah. And which was the other one that I really loved? Oh, I can't see it. Yeah, it's this one. So the Lot 40 cask strength. These three work amazingly well with this drink. But, you know, I'm sticking to Canadian for an obvious reason. I'm taking these and I'm putting them with maple soda. Now, I don't have any maple soda at the moment. I'm not able to buy it. But in preparation for when the maple soda becomes available again, and yes, I have made my own maple soda. It's just not as good. I've even made what would I'd called it a nostalgia soda. You basically cook maple syrup with salted butter, and it needs to be super salty butter. So I use Kerrygold butter, and you just take a frying pan, put the butter on, and you get the heat right so that the butter starts to froth, and you keep moving it. It'll continue to froth and not turn brown for a little while, and then you pour over chilled maple syrup, and the maple syrup mixes with the butter, and you get it to a nice mix, and it tastes like the McDonald's maple syrup that you put on those cheesy pancakes that you get from McDonald's, and it tastes so good. And I was fat washing, or basically just mixing that into a bottle of the Canadian whiskey and then putting it with maple soda. I've also tried to make a maple soda out of the salted maple butter. Not as good. You get that acid in there and it's kind of like doesn't work out quite as well. But when I nail it, it's going to be amazing. Now, in the meantime, and I guess I could try doing this guy. I've got this bucket here. And for anyone that has seen, if you've watched, if you're on Instagram and you watch cocktail videos and cocktail photography coming up, and you see those beautiful leaf skeletons. Most people are buying in leaf skeletons, right? Like they might have a cognac-based drink and it's still got the same leaf skeleton that they're using in a vodka-based drink and stuff like that. So for me, I think it'd be really cool if people started making their own. Oh, I thought it would be really cool if people started making their own. And to make a leaf skeleton, basically you take a leaf, and in this case, it's obviously a maple leaf. If you look at that, you can see the vein structure. You put it in water. Now this is the straight up method. Put it in water and you allow it to rot. And over time, the soft membrane part of the leaf is going to rot before the much stronger woody part of the leaf. And you take give it a couple of weeks, you take an old toothbrush and you just rub away from the center on these little, whatever they're called, the leaf skeleton. That's the slow method. The faster method is, right, I couldn't get maple leaves. I couldn't find any maple trees. So I just bought these off Etsy. Someone had dried them and pressed them, right? So now I've got a ton of maple leaves and I'm going through them. First tip, see that one? Like if you're looking at it from the top, it looks perfect, right? You got this beautiful, perfect maple leaf. If I look at this one, you can see there's like black spots. Those black spots don't clean away very easily, right? So when you're looking for a leaf, if you see that there's like hard black spots, like they don't scrub away. So get one that's healthy all the way through and has no black spots and has a nice healthy vein. Put it into a pot of water and add bicarbonate of soda or washing soda to the water. Bring it up to the boil and then simmer it for about 2 hours, 2 to 4 hours. I did it for 2 hours with maple leaves and it seemed to work just fine. And then you can scrub it away, and you end up with a beautiful leaf skeleton. Like, so for me, I plan to continue doing this. And I'm going to make a video, if anyone's interested, I'm going to make a video on how to do it from scratch. I took some footage of this. I wasn't expecting it to work as well as it did. And I had to dry them out, press them, and then I've just put them in tin foil because I can keep reusing this tin foil over and over. But yeah, you can see any of the black spots, they stayed. And trying to scrub them away just basically started to tear the skeleton of the leaf. And I mean, it even at my absolute best, it took me between 7 to 10 minutes to scrub each leaf. When you start to think about that, if it's taking you 10 minutes to scrub a leaf, that's 6 leaves an hour, right? If you're on £12 an hour, that's £2 an hour. £12 an hour is like basically minimum wage in the UK. So it really, you know, if you're making 80% gross profit on your drinks and you're putting £2 worth of time into the garnish, I don't know. It's like, that's an expensive garnish. That's a really expensive garnish, right? So you have to think, is it useful? For me, if you want to make a dope photo and I have a grapevine outside, I'm going to do it again with grape leaves. I'm going to do it, I've got a yuzu tree, I'm going to do it with a yuzu leaf, and I'm going to use them for photography. That's about it. I'll do maybe 10 or 15 at a time, and once I've taken those 15 photos, unless someone's paying me, I'm not doing it again. It's probably not worth it, which is why, if you look at those leaf skeletons, you're probably seeing the same leaf skeletons in every single image you're looking at. Largely, it'll be because those are the ones that you can buy commercially. If you do want to have a go at it, let me know in the comments. Also, we're 20 subscribers away from 2,000 on the channel. I say we, but I mean, I'm speaking to Diageo and the guys that watch all the shows and give me feedback and help me out with the show. We're 20 subscribers away from 2,000, which is pretty dope. And it's ahead of where I thought I'd be at this stage. So yeah, like and subscribe if you haven't already, which would be really helpful because it, you know, boosts my morale and helps me get more confidence in doing more shows. Thank you for tuning in today. Big thank you to Aldrin and all of the bartenders that have supported him in the amazing work he did, getting as far as he did in the world class finals. And we're going to see more from him. He's only just beginning in his journey. Thank you all so much, and see you next week.
You were good, kid, real good. But as long as I'm around, you'll always be second best, see?